Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to a new day, new game. And today we're playing Lake of Voices. Now, this is a free game on Steam, a free visual novel that's supposed to be, I think, a horror game. It looks like it anyway. So, if it's somewhat in the theme of horror, then it's good for October. Not that every game I put out this month has been horror, but a lot of them, I think I made at least 50% horror, at least. Uh, so yeah, a horror visual novel. Definitely don't mind one. So let's see what it's like. I'm assuming maybe it's just a lake that likes to talk a lot. Okay, you'll need to make various decisions throughout Lake of Voices. Here are a few details to keep in mind. Certain choices are timed. Time running out isn't something to completely avoid. In some cases, not getting involved can open new possibilities. Other choices aren't timed. These options only determine whether Kikka has any special affection for another character or not. If you survive until the second night, the story will branch out into one of 5 different plot lines based on your earlier decisions. The other characters cannot manage all situations in the various plot lines, regardless of what you do. If a character isn't making it, try getting that plot with a different set of survivors, or having the same group of characters venture through some other storyline. Becoming closer to someone can add or remove the future choice options and change how some scenes play out. Your decision to build that connection may not go unnoticed by the other characters. Earning the full amount of affection with certain characters can require getting into specific plot lines. That's interesting that some of them are timed. What am I stepping on? Okay. Get that out of the way. My grip on my lantern tightens as the fog around us thickens. While the forests in the area are relatively safe compared to Sinlos, I can't help but feel my hair stand on end the further we get. My free hand fingers the hilt of my sword, something akin to a nervous reflex. Okay, so this character's name is Bemelle. I think that's a guy. Have you seen it before? It's the... Oops, not what I meant to click on. Yeah, on... Okay. Just making sure I didn't turn down the settings, the audio settings. Yeah, okay, there's Yeah, it's just a very quiet game, I guess, so far. Bemelle breaks the silence, either sensing my needs or assuaging his own. I hope it's the
I
latter.
haven't. I've had no reason to go near this cursed lake until now. What of you?
Okay, there is a voice. Bemelle scratches his chin casually, as though I asked what his favorite food is.
I traveled a long way around it once before. Not so pleasant. Something about it just frays your nerves. Although, even being near it is enough.
So I'm not the only one who feels it. A sense of relief hits me, but not enough to undo the buzzing of anxiety. The lake, Sinlos. Most try their best to avoid it all their lives. The hundreds who die attempting to cross its unearthly black water, dragged to death by the creatures lurking within, aren't the secret.
No wonder you were assigned this mission.
There are a few who've had first-hand experience with the place, even if from a distance. He'll probably keep being picked whenever they need someone to cross, for however long he's with us. Bemelle shrugs, bringing my attention back to the dark path before us.
At least we're taking the bridge this time. It'll only take 2 days instead of double that, and the sooner this place is behind us, the better.
It would be preferable not to risk it. But time is of the essence. We don't really have a choice.
One of our allied villages, Himmer, is being harassed by brigadiers, a band of ruffians. We don't have any mini guards to send as an assist, only Bemelle and myself. The least we can do is arrive before we are too late to be of any use. These kinds of squabbles happen often, but have to be put down unless they turn into a blood grudge or an all-out war. The last we heard, neither option was that far
I
off.
can also see why they chose you to come out here.
Glance at Bemelle, an eyebrow raised. I think I raised an eyebrow. A slight smile plays across his lips.
You're always so calm and so serious. Nothing can get to you. You're the best choice they had.
Wonder if he's gonna be like, it'd be funny if he was like, so serious. I wonder if I can get on her nerves. Be like, poke, 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 poke. Then just like, whoosh. He's like, oh, there goes my finger. It's gone now. A smile now tugs at my own lips. I would like to thank him, but that wouldn't be so calm and serious as he just described. And if that's how he sees me, I'd like to keep it that way. My lack of reaction only makes his smile grow, and he chuckles a bit before refocusing on the past. I do the same. It wouldn't be right to let my guard down in a place like this. Bemelle appears to feel differently, however.
You know the town on the other side of the lake, though. It's not so similar to ours. If all goes well, perhaps we'll have enough time to enjoy the new area.
For the most part, I ignore him, nodding when applicable. Bemelle is a talkative sort, and if chatting helps keep his worries down in sword hand ready, I have no complaints. After a time, the thick fog surrounding us begins to clear. A slick wooden dock comes into view, and with it the sounds of water gently lapping at its sides. Bemelle shifts beside me, stretching his lantern arm as far as it will go. He seems tense. Looks like a tense scene.
Someone's already here.
A young woman stands by the dock, eyeing us warily. Does she intend to cross the night? Evidently, she has the same question. As we step up next to her, it's clear she isn't simply passing by. She's waiting. The stranger nods curtly to us.
Margaret.
Okay.
Kikka the Steadfast.
Bemelle. Hello?
Oh, Bemelle. Okay. Sorry, Bemelle. You're not Bemelle. Bemelle. Okay. There's a stuffy silence. Margaret turns to gaze out across the lake, expression unclear. But not much to say. Bemelle and I do the same. From here, the black surface of the lake looks disarmingly calm. Wind rushes across the surface, a sound like whispering. Though perhaps it actually is whispering. I concentrate, trying to place the difference, searching for breaks in rhythm. After a few seconds, I feel foolish. It would be weird if the lake was whispering. Doesn't matter what the noise is, whether I hear it or not, we're not alone. The Nixie are out there. Okay. Nixie? Feeling that I can't quite shake tells me they've already noticed a little group of people on their shores. It feels hostile. My stomach sinks, and I instead address Bemelle.
Where is the guide?
Unless he's on the center island, or on the complete other side, your guess is as good as mine. It's dark as pitch out there.
Panic rises inside me. Panic I try hard to quell. Yeah, it'd be good to quell that panic because the guy's like, so serious, stay so focused. You know, if you were to start freaking out, it would kind of, you kind of lose your cred with him.
We can't cross without him, and we need to get going soon.
You can't cross with him either.
Going behind us, Margaret cuts in with something like a snort.
What?
I know the guide will be here tonight. I have already made arrangements with him to cross.
Bemelle and I share a look. The woman seems haughty and willing to put up a fuss.
I have his word he'll take me today. It would be wiser for the two of you to begin the trip around if you're really in such a hurry. Or you can make camp here and wait for him to make the trip back if you prefer.
Is it not possible to make a trip 3 people? I need to turn my attention to Bemelle to know he's riled up. I step in before he can say something rash.
Even if that is so, my companion and I must begin the trip tonight.
Margaret is unimpressed and opens her mouth to argue further.
We'll wait for the guide to arrive before coming to a conclusion about any of this.
She claps her mouth shut, then lets out a sigh.
You can do as you like.
With the matter tentatively settled, Bemelle moves away. His finger begins to tap loudly against the top of his hilt. He shifts from one foot to another, then groans.
What's that bastard even up to?
I almost visibly start, but manage to restrain myself. He probably doesn't know any better. I'm sure of that. It's not worth mentioning. Like using the word bastard in front of the lady or something?
With a mouth like that, you shouldn't even have the right to ask the guide to take you across.
Wow.
How ludicrous. He's faced far worse than a bit of foul language.
Do you know anything that's happened with this lake?
No, but please tell me.
I know enough.
Margaret is clearly not convinced, but she shrugs and makes a show of turning her back to him. Wow. If this lake doesn't like bad language and stuff, then hopefully they're not watching anything like Game of Thrones, on like their iPad or something here. I know they don't have iPad. I'm just talking, because they throw the word bastard around like it's the word a lot of times, and worse. They use a lot worse.
The guide's father is Garvin the Exemplar. Garvin never accepted the guide as his son, all the way up until he died, in this lake. Your statement could be seen as tasteless.
Okay. Interesting. Ouch.
Oh.
Bemelle rubs the back of his neck, his face regretful.
My apologies to the guide. I didn't mean it that way. I never knew about that.
A smile spreads across my face, one I quickly wipe away. He really did just misspeak. The silence slowly stretches between the three of us, growing more awkward with each passing second. Margaret seems irritated, and Bemelle seems abashed. Okay, I'm guessing this isn't time. This one right here. So she knows the guy too, it sounds like, or knows of him.
It's been years since the time of Garvin the Exemplar. It's impressive you knew.
Margaret smiles, lifting her chin into the air. The over-exaggerated action is somehow pleasant rather than belittling. She's so much happier than I had anticipated.
Yes, I do like to stay informed. And you knew too. Good. This lake shouldn't be allowed to swallow even history itself.
My town, the one where I was born at least, was also Garvin's hometown. I was very young when he passed. The entire village went into mourning. People broke down crying in the streets. I'll never forget it. He meant much to everyone who knew him.
Okay.
Oh, I have no such connections. I merely read about it.
She pauses, seeming to scan the air in front of her for something to say.
I'm sorry for your loss.
It's all right. Thank you.
The town may have taken pride in Garvin the Exemplar and what he achieved, but we weren't the ones who lost the most. That'd be his family. Fairly obvious. We each remain locked inside our own thoughts, not another word passing between us. Who or what? Eventually a small light appears on the bridge ahead, gently swaying through the foggy air. It gets closer and closer until it becomes apparent it's a figure carrying a lantern. That must be the guide, although I can't shake the ghostly aura it gives off. Oh, is this one long-ass bridge going across the lake? Oh, that is creepy. The figure steps onto the shore, but we wait for him to approach us instead of going to meet him. None of us are sure how close to the waters we can get before it's no longer safe. He stops in front of us and simply stares.
Are you the guide of Sinlos?
Man nods. He has a sharp face and weary eyes.
Well, that's grand. We would like an escort across the lake.
Bemelle motions to the two of us, and Margaret approaches, a strange smile on her face.
Hello, it's good to see you again. I'm ready to cross, as we've agreed upon.
The guy turns to face her as well, face remaining unchanged. Must not be a lie. He wouldn't have had to say something otherwise. She really does have a preference to travel with him. That's the problem.
Is there a way we can all begin the trip tonight?
Yes, I will allow all three of you to go. But with that many, at least one will die before we reach the other side.
Wow. Wow. A furrow on my brow. It's a disturbing addendum, and one offered with little emotion attached. Bemelle glares back, asking without asking what we're supposed to do with such circumstances.
You should go around.
The sentence hangs in the air, the second half unspoken. If you want to live.
We don't have time for that. There are people counting on us for protection. Why does she need to go?
He jerks a finger at Margaret, whose face contorts with anger.
I don't need to explain myself to you. My journey has already been put off once, and I was promised I could go today. I will be going under any circumstances.
She meets Bemelle's eyes with a gaze of steel. He starts to speak, and she cuts in.
An extra day or two shouldn't be that much of a problem for you. Whoever you're meeting can surely wait such a tiny amount longer. Patience is a virtue, after all.
The night is only so long, and if we're still on the bridges when the sun comes up, we'll all die as they sink back below the surface. If you don't decide soon, no one will be going.
The guy is dispassionate, stoic. I would almost feel something's wrong with him if I didn't share the trait myself. Bemelle pulls me to the side, jaw clenched tight. I say we all three go, and we put a dead fish in Margaret's pockets, so that whatever it is that might be there, if they like fish, I don't know. There's a lake. What do they eat? Fish might be there. So yeah, they go after her.
That woman isn't armed.
His voice is low. He darts a glance at Margaret.
We can easily get her to back off if we make this into an actual fight. After all, we have to go tonight, yes? If one of us really is to die, it'll be her. Would staying be a worse fate than her death?
I stare at the doc, refusing to meet Bemelle's eyes. Try to keep my voice as level as possible.
We don't know her situation. This isn't a decision we can make for her.
What?
Bemelle leans in closer, apparently having missed what I said. I removed the sympathy for her in my response when I speak again.
The guide won't accept something like that, I assume.
His face is
Then
grim.
what else do you have in mind?
First of all, you and I cannot split up. Either we both stay, or we both go.
Right. That's not a question.
Cross my arms, a hand on my chin. I have full confidence in my abilities and in Bemelle's. There's no reason not to believe the guide knows exactly what he's talking about. If we go, he might not be able to give the group the attention we each deserve. That would mean we truly would be putting Margaret's life at risk on top of our own.
And
Let's
I
go.
believe you.
We're going. We're playing a game called Lake of Voices. We're going to go into the Lake of Voices. Bemelle's reply is firm. My steadfastness seems almost weak in comparison to its certainty. He addresses the guide.
We shouldn't waste more time. Let's shove off.
The guide slowly turns around without even a nod to show his agreement. Margaret stares at Bemelle and me, something of a resolve in her gaze. Then she follows after the guide. At least she didn't insist we stay behind.
We should do what we can to protect her. It's our fault she's being put in even further danger.
Agreed.
Exactly my thoughts. We will take care of everything. Maybe I'm being naive, but I have no intentions of letting anyone fall victim to this lake tonight. Those monsters can starve.
Tries to follow the others across. I'll protect everyone on this trip. I will. We will make it through this. Then I step on the dock and join them. And I die. That'd be funny if that's what happened after her making that statement. As soon as I step into the wood, onto the wood, the temperature drops. The light of my lamp shines against the water surface, as reflective as a mirror. Until we reach land again, death is only one small mistake away. We fall into line with the guide leading the way. Margaret stays close to him, and I behind her, watching to make sure she doesn't slip on the slick, wet wood. Bemelle brings up the rear. Bemelle. Went back to saying Bemelle. Each of us holds our lanterns in front of us, but it does little good. The fog is thick and nigh impenetrable, consuming light as if hungry for it. Above the surface of the lake, it's deathly quiet. No longer is there the whispering wind or the sound of water lapping against the shore. It's just our own mismatched footsteps and the sound of my quickened breathing. My eyes drift back to the lake, against my better judgment. It's no wonder there's not even the sound of water, with how still the surface is. It seems almost sturdy, with a sheen of black marble floor. I've heard rumors the water of Sinlos is heavier, more difficult to disturb than natural water. That just the weight of its oppressive cling is enough to keep someone down, even without them. I guess it's the Nixie. I think that's what you call them. Something even darker than the abyss of the lake flickers just below the surface, or at least I think it does. I turn my gaze to Margaret's back. I better stay focused. It's better to stay focused.
Fall back a bit. You're following me too closely.
The guy is looking over his shoulder, addressing Margaret.
I'm sorry.
If someone gets pulled into the lake, they'll instinctively reach for anything to hold on to. Do not let that be you.
That's good advice. Margaret's shoulders rise, and she nods with great seriousness.
I understand. Thank you for the advice.
He ignored her gratitude.
You can speak amongst yourselves if you so choose, as long as you pay attention to where you're going. There is no worth in listening to the sounds out there. If there's anything at all, it'll only be Nixie trying to set you on edge.
All right. Then, could you tell us your name? You didn't have a chance to properly introduce yourself, and I've only heard you being referred to as the guide.
I don't have a name.
Well, he's facing the front again, his voice expressionless as before. I've no way of guessing how he feels as he says this.
Oh.
It's probably not something he wishes to talk about. However, there was something else I want to say, so changing the subject is not difficult.
Margaret, thank you for allowing us to join you.
Margaret shrugs non-committally.
It wasn't exactly up to me. The guide said he would take you.
She hesitates and then looks tentatively over her shoulder at me.
But thank you for saying that. It's appreciated.
Bemelle and I will do our best to be an asset on this trip, rather than a burden.
That's nice. I'm not afraid to be out here, though. Still, at least with your training, you should be able to take care of yourselves.
I admire her resilience. It's comforting to know that everyone here is so confident in their abilities. Not enough to forget how terrible it feels to be over this lake. I'm not sure if that is fortunate or unfortunate. Believing yourself to be secure doesn't mean that you are. I was going to say, it sounds like she might be a little bit overconfident. As the conversation lulls, a new sound breaks through. It's the whispering noise again. It's the chatter of inhuman voices. This time, coming from all around us.
Taking care of yourself is exactly what you need to do.
The guide is speaking again, except louder, as if to cover the Nixie's voices with his own.
Work to survive at all costs, and hope that everyone around you has enough sense to do the same. That's the only way you'll make it to the other side.
Margaret nods in response, but I hear a grunt from behind me.
Groups tend to go further when they work together to achieve the same goal.
The guy doesn't say anything in response to Bemelle's grumbling either. I'm not sure whether he didn't hear Bemelle or whether he just doesn't feel the statements made thus far are worthy of addressing. I have a feeling it's the latter. Oh man, this lake is crazy. Or this bridge, I should say, not the lake. Oh, the lake sounds like it's crazy too, but the bridge, it's like going in all directions. Here's a question. Who built this thing? Did they build it and then it went crazy with the Nixie coming in or something? Or did they build it while it was all crazy? That's a question I'm wondering about. Because if they're so bad, how did they build it without people dying, you know? Wonder how the guy knows which one of these essentially identical paths is correct when something in the corner of my eye catches my
I
attention.
believe I saw something over there.
Keep walking. No need to worry.
The guy's voice is calm and level. I decided against pressing the issue, not wanting to set everyone even more on edge.
What did he say?
Perhaps not wanting the conversation to be caught by the guide, he speaks softly. But I couldn't quite hear him because of it. Interesting. Take my eyes off Margaret ahead for a moment to explain to Bemelle, and stop dead in my tracks. Only one word is able to escape me in my stunned state.
Behind
Bemelle stands another figure. Looming in the darkness, seeing my face, Bemelle grabs the hilt of his sword. He whips around and staggers swiftly backwards. Several meters away, a crooked, twisted, black figure hobbles its way towards us. Some kind of liquid drips off its head, curling around the edges of its face. It almost looks like it's crying. Bemelle backs up until he's standing beside me. The figure continues its slow advance, head jerking from one angle to another.
What on earth?
it's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Nixie that stumble across the bridges looking for opportunities.
The guy that's standing next to us. I didn't even notice him approach.
The ones that can make it out of the water are generally referred to as prowlers.
I had no idea things like that were out here. Is that what Kikka saw down the other path?
The guide says nothing, instead returning to the front of the party. Margaret watches them pass. Her frustration morphs into nervous optimism when something seems to come into her mind.
Nixie aren't slowed down much by swords, but at least the light keeps them away, right?
Margaret's hand grips her face tight, and desperation bleeds into her voice. I bite the inside of my lip.
Direct light will force it to return to the lake. However, it'll try to drag the light, or you, down with it before it goes.
It'd be funny if Margaret was like, "Hey, Kikka, want to hold this this lantern?" Instinctively, I reached for the hilt of my sword, despite the fact that it would do little to protect me. The prowler is getting closer, jerking forward, stopping, and then resuming its slow advance.
Okay. Does anyone have a light we can leave here? That way it won't follow us.
You're holding a lantern.
Only matches.
Y'all are all holding lanterns. But Bemelle spits. He's the one bringing up the rear, so he's the one most likely to be in danger if it keeps following. The guide, however, moves forward.
Don't forget it's there, don't let your guard down, and don't get left behind.
What? How am I supposed to keep walking with this thing at my heels? You said it wants to attack.
Don't give it the chance.
Bemelle sputters in anger, and the guide similarly ignores him. I suddenly grab hold of Bemelle's upper arm.
Here, I'll lead you like this, and you can keep your focus solely on the prowler. Make sure it doesn't get too close.
Bemelle eyes the guide with unresolved hostility, but allows himself to softly sigh in relief. He gazes at me with fondness.
At least there's someone I can count on.
Despite the fact I'm going against his advice, the guide says nothing more. It is clear now that he doesn't give a damn what we end up doing. Some part of me is glad for that. I want to help everyone make it through, and it would be worse to have to persuade the guide every time help was necessary.
Kikka, thank you.
Bemelle places a gentle hand on my shoulder. Just be nice. Yeah, you'll make it through. Yeah, you're good. You'll probably die, but we'll pretend like you're not gonna die. I feel Bemelle start as I reciprocate his touch, but just as quickly a smile replaces his shock. The moment is pleasant, a small balm against a large burn. I harden my expression, and Bemelle follows suit. Moves his free arm down. I fully link his arm with mine, and now properly settled, look forward. Margaret is following the guide with some reluctance, turning back every so often to check on us. I wave my lantern to signal we're catching up. Margaret returns her head to the front and quickens her pace. With a tug on Bemelle, we start to follow them. So has it just been standing there while they were... Have they been walking that whole conversation? Because it sounded like they were just standing there. So was that thing just standing there? Excuse me. The four of us continue cautiously over the bridges. Only this time, the wet, squishing footsteps of the prowler join the sound of our own. In spite of myself, I grip Bemelle tighter. The prowler walks without a set pattern, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. It takes long steps, then short ones. At times, it stops walking entirely. Does it hurt to be out of the water like this, or is it trying to be difficult to read? Suddenly, the whispering in the lake grows louder. I still myself, trying not to let it get to me. The most important thing in a situation like this is to remain calm. Can't lose my head. Then all at once, I notice the guide and Margaret have come to a halt.
Bemelle, they're stopping.
Bemelle slows down as I do, and as we near Margaret's back, she says something akin to distress.
There's another one.
Tug on Bemelle, and he understands. We draw up close to Margaret, ready to protect her if need be. But the guide holds out a hand. What sort of training does this guide have to do to get this job? Yeah, now what does he get paid for? I hope he gets some danger pay. Because this seems like a really risky job to have. I'm hoping that with this job, they you work really hard for like a year and then but they get enough money to retire for a lifetime. It's like yeah, hopefully he gets paid like $3 million for a year's worth of work. And he doesn't do it again, doesn't have to do it again.
Don't get any closer.
Just over his shoulder, I see another prowler stumbling towards us, white liquid dripping from his eyes. Ew. The guide's hand turned over in the air, palm up.
Give me a lantern. We'll throw it.
Margaret extends her own with a trembling hand when Bemelle speaks instead, his back still turned.
If you have to take someone's, take mine.
Yes, an extra light won't do us much good when we're standing this close together.
Margaret takes Bemelle's lantern from him, guarded relief displayed on her features.
Thank you.
She hands the lantern to the guide, whose hand grips it tightly, knuckles growing pale.
Stay here. I can't throw it too far. The light will blow out before it reaches the Nyx.
He steps closer to the monster. Oh, that's creepy. His movement slight and confident as he nears. The prowler starts to back away. Is it only the approaching light that's making it retreat, or are they afraid of him? The guide is far enough away from us that the fog is partially obscuring him, hiding his movements. The voices from the lake grow louder and louder. Water suddenly begins to splash across the lake in the distance and onto the edges of the bridge. Sounds like they're getting a little bit antsy in the water. They want him to mess up. I don't notice how tense I am until Bemelle eases my grasp on his arm. Then suddenly the guide takes multiple long and fast strides forward, throws the lantern, and jumps backwards to regain the lost distance. There's a sharp hiss and then a deep splash, and the voices of Nixie grow quieter. Not silent, but quieter. A sigh escapes me, and the guide comes back to our group.
We should keep going before it comes back.
Agreed. I glanced at Bemelle and I realized he too is looking relieved at the guide before us. And then I see it. The first prowler is still there. It's right there. I shift around, pulling Bemelle behind me. The prowler lunges after him, barely missing Bemelle, but striking my lantern instead. The fire goes out, and two of us are plunged into an unearthly darkness. Then there's a slick splash. I realize the Nyx has retreated into the water. Somehow Bemelle and I are still standing. We're still here.
Kikka, thank you.
Can't respond. Something cold, wet, and slimy has grabbed my ankle. I kick my leg out as fast as I can, and the Nyx's hold slips. I can't pull with the momentum I've gained against it. Margaret rushes to my side, her lantern hanging out towards the Nyx. The light brushes its face. We see it for an instant, its eyes wide, and then it slides back into the smooth surface of the water. Bemelle grabs Margaret and I both, helping us towards the center of the bridge and cussing under his breath.
I only looked away for 1 second.
It's fine, Bemelle. We're all fine.
It was close.
Are you actually all right?
Actually, I'm pretty sure I'd be freaked out. Margaret cocks her head down, examining my ankle, but there's nothing but a wet smudge around my trousers.
I am fine.
I say that, though I don't actually want to let go of Bemelle. I need to in order to relight our lantern and provide us some actual safety, but I feel a strong desire not to be alone at this moment. I shake my head roughly and let go of him, relighting the lantern as fast as I'm able.
Kikka, thank you. Again. You saved my life. I won't let this happen again.
Yes. Yes. It would be good for all of us to pay more attention.
Margaret nods solemnly. Suddenly it seems like we're all on the same side. It isn't only Bemelle and I. She is with us in more than simply presence. The guide's voice, as cold as that monster's grasp, ends my train of thought.
We lost the lantern I threw. The Nyx grabbed it after the light went out.
Margaret makes a noise. I glance over, wondering whether she's upset. There's a small smile on her face instead.
It's better than them taking anything else.
A nervous laugh bubbles up out of me and just as quickly stops. Bemelle chuckles in response, and our collective tension eases up, the adrenaline draining from our bodies.
We need to keep walking.
The guide starts down the bridge again, and we join him. I try to clamp down on the relief, the ease that wants to flood my head. It's not over. Wait a second. What? If they don't like the light, why would they be dead if they're still there when it hits morning? I'm confused. The prowler is gone, but so is Bemelle's lantern.
You can stay near me, Bemelle, since your lantern is lost.
I appreciate it.
Margaret goes on ahead of us. Bemelle stays by my side as I keep at the end of the line. I think I'm going to end the video here. Yeah, this is a pretty cool game. I like it so far. But it is all I'm going to play of it for a video. I'll probably play more of it once I'm done recording. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video, and there will be a link down in the description below for you to be able to check the game out for yourself. Like I said, it's completely free, so if you want to see what happens later on in the game, nothing's stopping you, And I'm sure you can, there's a skip button, so you can skip to this part, if you so wish. But anyway, that is going to be it. I do sincerely hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next game. Later there, folks.